Previously on Apostles' Take.
Regardless of the moral and spiritual standing of a regime or an administration or a monarch, we must always see to it that we are praying for them and that we are interceding for them. Hello there everyone and welcome to the Apostles' Take. I'm Apostle Jonathan Ferriol at ang ating pag-uusapan sa mga sandaling ito sa second part ng podcast series na ito ng Church and Government, walang iba kundi ang the role of human government. But let me just give you a quick recap of what we talk about in our first installment of this podcast series. Ating tinunghayan na ang pamamahala, ang panunungkulan ng kapangyarihan, ang lahat ng mga ito ay galing sa Diyos. Diyos ang may bigay nito sa tao. Diyos ang naktakda nito sa mga tao. At sa kasawiang palad ay may mga tao, may mga pamamahala na ginagamit ang kapangyarihan na mabuti na mula sa Diyos sa maling kaparaanan. At ito ang nagpapaliwanag sa katotohanan ngayon bakit may mga pamamahala, bakit may mga pamumuno na masama at marahas at laban sa Diyos sapagkat ginamit nila ang kasalanan o sila ay namamahala sa makasalanang kaparaanan. Subalit ang Diyos ay hindi natin pwedeng sisihin bakit mayroong masasamang mga pamamahala at kapamahalaan at gobyerno sa ating panahon ngayon. So this leads us now to the second installment of this podcast series, Church and Government. And this time around, we're going to look at the role of human governments. And I would like to share to you three principal roles of the human government. Number one, the human government is God's temporal solution to evil. The human government is God's temporal solution to evil, especially if the government or if an administration is right, it is good, and it is really following the rule of the law and decency. But then again, there are many times in the past and in the present wherein the government itself becomes evil and becomes wicked. But no matter how wicked and evil a government is, it is still a better alternative than not to have a government at all. And eventually, in due time, according to God's sovereign will and plan, whatever is wicked out there and whatever evil government is reigning right now, ito ay aalisin, ito ay mawawala. Sapagkat ang sabi ng banal na kasulatan in the book of Daniel in chapter 2 verse 21 that God is the one that sets up kings and He is the one that also removes kings. At yan ay ating nakita sa ating panahong kasalukuyan na walang despot, walang strongman, walang dictator. There is no wicked king or emperor or president that enjoyed longevity. Eventually, these despots and wicked leaders and presidents are dethroned. Eventually, they are removed from office or they are voted out. And that gives credence to the Word of God. But government in itself, huwag na muna natin pag-usapan kung ang isang pamamahala ay mabuti o masama. But the government in itself, in God's original plan and purpose, human government is God's temporal solution to evil. We can see that in the book of 1 Peter in chapter 2 in verse 13 and 14. Be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be to the emperor as supreme, or to governors as sent by him to punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. So it is abundantly clear as to the fundamental role of human government, and that is punitive, to punish and to condemn that which is wicked and criminal and against the laws of decency. Yun ang pangunahing trabaho ng pamamahala ng isang gobyerno o ng isang pamahalaan. Sugpuin ang masama, sawatain ang masama. May mga tao na nagque-question patungkol sa kakanyahan at kapangyarihan ng Diyos na sugpuin, sawatain ang masama. Kanilang sinasabi, kung ang Diyos ay tunay, kung may Diyos at ang Diyos na ito na sinasabi ninyo na tunay ay makapangyarihan, bakit may masama? Ano ang ginagawa niya sa masama? If there is indeed a God who exists, as you Christians claim, this is what actually atheists are actually arguing. They say that if there is indeed a God and this God is powerful, what is God doing in the face of evil? Well, this is one of the answers that we can find from the Bible, that God is the source of good governance, good power, and rulership. At ibinigay ng Diyos ang pamamahala sa tao para sugpuin, sawatain ang masama. Yan din ang binabanggit dito sa aklat ng Roma sa Kapitulo 13 in verse 3. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive His approval. For He is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for He does not bear the sword in vain. He is the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. So makikita natin na ang existence ng human government, lalong-lalo na ang good government, ang God-fearing government, ito pala ay ang tugon ng Diyos, ang sagot ng Diyos para puksain, sawatain, sugpuin ang masama. Kaya ang mabuting pamamahala at ang mabuting pangulo at administrasyon ay patunay na ang Diyos ay tunay at ang Diyos na tunay ay may kapangyarihan at may ginagawa para sawatain ang masama. Kaya dito natin makikita ang pangunahing tungkulin ng mabuting pamahalaan, ng mabuting gobyerno. At ito ay dapat ay maging kamalayan ng sinumang nasa pangunguna sa pamahalaan. Sila man ay presidente, sila man ay cabinet members, senators, congressmen, governors, all the way to the barangay level. God has placed you in that position of authority in order to eradicate, in order to remove and to curb the spread of evil. Kayo po ay itinalaga ng Diyos, and I would like to address personally those of our leaders who are in secular governance, that God has put you there specifically for the reason of curbing and stopping evil from spreading, and to make sure that it will not poison and contaminate the general society. Yun nga lang, may mga pagkakataon at maraming pagkakataon na mismo ang pamamahala ang nagiging masama. At ito ay totoo sa maraming mga bansa, at kailangan nilang maunawaan na ang Diyos na pinagmumulan ng kapangyarihan ay hindi natutulog. At ang Diyos ay mayroong programa na ang masamang pamamahala ay tapusin din. Ang masama at likong pamahalaan ay tapusin din. Yan ang maliwanag na binabanggit sa aklat ng Daniel sa Kapitulo 2 sa talatang 21, na ang Diyos ang nagluluklok at Diyos din ang nag-aalis. Pangalawa, this is the second role of human government. Human government is God's gracious agents of righteousness and justice. God's gracious agents of righteousness and justice. Good governance, good government is not only after chasing criminals. It is not only imprisoning and incarcerating and punishing criminals and lawbreakers. But good governance is also about recognizing and valuing and even rewarding good conduct, good behavior, and responsible citizenship. Again, let's go back to the book of 1 Peter in chapter 2, this time in verse 14. It says so clearly, governors are sent by him to punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. Governors, leaders, presidents, anyone who is in leadership position, they are in that particular position not only to stop evil from spreading, but to spread that which is good, what is moral, and what is according to God's laws. Yan din po ang binabanggit sa Romans chapter 13, verses 3 and 4. Rulers are not a terror to good conduct. In other words, kung ikaw naman ay tama ang iyong ginagawa, kung ang iyong aksyon naman ay ayon sa batas at ayon sa tamang paggawi at tamang pagkilos, ay hindi mo dapat katakutan ang mga nasa pamamahala o ang nasa pamahalaan o nasa gobyerno. At ang mga tao sa gobyerno ay hindi dapat parusahan yung gumagawa ng mabuti. This is one very important rule that our leaders must understand, that we must not let the good people be a collateral damage in our campaign to eradicate that which is bad and evil. Kaya dapat ay merong malaking gawa ang pamahalaan na ang mga inosente o yung mga taong wala namang masamang ginagawa ay mapasama. But then again, this is the tragedy in our human government, that bad people remain scot-free and good people end up being the bad people, and they are criminalized and they are incarcerated. That is a miscarriage of justice. This is the reason why there is a need for us to be vigilant. And that is a sad story na yung mga taong mabubuti, yung taong matitino, sila ang napaparusahan, sila ang napapahamak. At yaong mga masasama at mga liko, sila ang parang malalaya. But then again, when we look at the program of God, as God intended good government, He has sent and He has established good government as gracious agents to reward and to value and appreciate that which is righteous and that which is good. It says, do what is good and you will receive His approval. You will receive His approval, referring to the government. Kaya ito ang nais kong ihatid sa ating mga pinagpipitagang mga tagapangunan ng ating bayan, ng ating bansa, that you should not only be on the lookout for those who are breaking the law, but you must also be on the lookout for those who are complying to the law and keeping the law. And they must be approved, they must be commended, and they must be recognized as well. In that way, our country will be better off. Our country will enjoy peace and prosperity. And lastly, in our point 3, human government is God's agent to accomplish His sovereign will and plan. Good governance, particularly, they are God's agent to accomplish His sovereign will and plan. Ito ang ating masasabi, mga kaibigan at mga kapatid, na no matter how frail, no matter how limited and flawed our governments are, yet in God's perfect sovereign will, God still uses our human government in order to bring about His perfect plan and His perfect will. Only God can do this. Ito ang ating masasabi sa kapangyarihan ng Diyos, na sa kabila ng karupukan, sa kabila ng kasamaan ng mga gobyerno at ng pamamahala ng tao, ang Diyos sa kanyang kapangyarihan ay ginagamit pa rin ang pamamahala ng tao upang maisakatuparan ang kanyang mabuti at banal na katwiran. I remember the revelation of Joseph to his brothers when Joseph eventually confronted the reality of his brothers' hypocrisy and betrayal. Ganito ang sabi ni Joseph sa kanila. We can find this in the book of Genesis in chapter 50 in verses 20 to 21. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. So do not fear. I will provide for you and your little ones. Thus he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Alam natin ang buhay ni Jose. Siya ay itinakwil ng kanyang mga kapatid at siya ay iniwang parang patay na, inihulog sa bangin, at siya ay ibinenta sa mga tao na banyaga at siya'y dinala sa ibang bayan, at sa ibang bayan siya ay nakulong ng mahabang taon, siya'y napahiya, siya'y naalisan ng karangalan, subalit sa kahuli-hulihan, ang nagwagi pa rin ay ang sakdal na kalooban ng Diyos para sa bayang Israel. Gaya ng sinabi ni Jose just like what Joseph said in verse 20, what you meant for evil, God meant it for good. That's the purpose of good governance. God wanted good governance to be a vehicle, to be an institution for what is good, to bring about prosperity and life to many people. Yan ang nangyari sa panahon ni Jose nung siya ang naging tinatawag na Prince of Egypt. And so, ito ang ating gustong iparating sa ating mga pinagpipitagang mga tagapanguna sa pamahalaan, that you are there as a tool and as a vehicle for good, in order to bless people, in order to keep many people alive and to thrive, not just to survive, but to thrive and to prosper. Ginagamit din ng Diyos ang mga parang baluktot na mga pamamahala para isakatuparan ang kanyang mabuting kalooban. We can see that in the book of Acts in chapter 4, verses 26 to 28. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against His anointed. For truly in this city there were gathered together against your holy servant Jesus, whom you anointed, both Herod and Pontius Pilate, along with the Gentiles and the peoples of Israel, to do whatever your hand and your plan had predestined to take place. Wow! Imagine, God used the wickedness of Herod and Pontius Pilate and the hypocrisy and the collective wickedness of that generation of Hebrews and Israel during that time in order to bring about God's predestination and His sovereign will. Ginamit ng Diyos ang kasamaan ng tao, ang masamang pangunguna ni Herodes at ni Pilato at ng kabuuan ng konseho ng Israel para palitawin, para maihayag ang mas dakila at mabuting kalooban ng Diyos. Only God can do that. Only God can accomplish that. And so these are the three principal roles of human government. Again, one, human government is God's temporal solution to evil. Second, the human government is God's gracious agents of righteousness and justice. And third, last but not least, human government is God's agent to accomplish His sovereign will and plan. Now, it begs us now the question, and this is something that we cannot treat like an elephant in the room. How about the idea of separation of church and state? Ang ibig sabihin ng separation of church and state ay ang isang pamahalaan ay hindi pwedeng kontrolin, hindi pwedeng usigin o paboran ang isang relihiyon. At ang isang relihiyon ay hindi pwedeng paboran at hindi pwedeng usigin ang isang pamahalaan. As a church, the PMCC Portwatch subscribe to the idea of separation of church and state. However, we must also recognize the importance of God in government. And that is something that we cannot dismiss and that we cannot ignore. That every human government, they need God. And when I speak about God, I'm speaking about the God from whom all powers and authorities have come from. I'm not talking about the gods of the world. I'm talking about the God who made the heavens and the earth, the God who is sovereign and supreme, and the one who holds dominion over all created beings. That's the God of the Holy Bible. We recognize that God must always have a role in government, not necessarily a religion, not necessarily a church, especially if a religion is not from God or a church is not of God. But God cannot be separated from the government. Sa ating bansa ay maraming mga politiko ang nagsasabi na sila ay makadiyos. Ideally, that's good, but it cannot be simply a lip service. Madaling sabihin na ako ay makadiyos, ako ay makadiyos. What we need to understand is what is God's perfect will for our government. And it is those who are genuinely, and sincerely and authentically submissive to God, fearful of God, and obeying God that must be in places of human leadership and governance. It is once again my hope and prayer that you have been enlightened in this second installment of this four-part podcast series, Church and Government. Once again, thank you for watching The Apostles' Take. This is Apostle Jonathan Ferriol, at sa susunod po nating podcast, sana po ay muli tayong magkita. Pagpalain kayo ng Panginoon.